Here we are with the Nuvi 56 LM, not the LMT. I've got a couple of these 56 LMs, and per the recent map update, Garmin did me a solid, and for everybody else too, where they, for North America at least, US, Canada, and Mexico. This used to be just US and Canada. Free upgrade. This is something that Garmin should have done long ago. But better late than never. So, hey, if you have an LM model, you're going to get the full kit. Isn't that nice? If you can't fit it, well, better get a 32 gig micro SD memory card. And then you can get the full kit. Anyway, what I'm going to talk about here is the shortest possible, quotation fingers here, address that you could possibly have. Why is this important? Well, it is because even though we have ways of importing and exporting favorites, waypoints, whatever you choose to call them, we can do this with Garmin Express to transfer favorites from one unit to the next. We have this with POI databases, as I've shown before. But ultimately, it's best if you write them down as a backup. I mean, you can save them to the device, sure, but it is best if you write them down. And what you need when you write them down is the shortest possible format. And it is using coordinates, but in a certain way. Now, I've mentioned this before, but I really wanted to dedicate an entire video to this because, believe me, if I'll give you an example scenario. Okay, you've got a little business card. You flip it over on the back. This is something you can put in your wallet or clip or whatever. And this, what I'm about to show you, is small enough, short enough I should say, to where you can write the name, the coordinates, and that's all you need. And then no matter what car you're in, and more importantly, no matter what Garmin you are using or what app you are using, you can punch in the coordinate and then off you go. And that's nice, provided that the app actually recognizes GPS coordinates. Google Maps does. That's not the problem, but Organic Maps will do this, and Magic Earth will do this, and a few others. But there are some that will not recognize manual input of GPS coordinates. Those apps are so worthless because when you have the coordinates, you get exactly where you need to be. And for example, if you want coordinates on one side of the street instead of the other side of the street for a certain location, you use coordinates for that. So again, if the app, whatever it is, for that navigation app, if it does not recognize coordinates, absolutely worthless. Totally worthless. I don't know how anyone could stand to use it, because once you see how this works, you'll, oh, okay, yeah, nice. So on this, the Nuvi 56, and this is applicable to any Nuvi Drive or Drive Smart model. In the settings, actually you don't even need to do it in settings. If you go to just coordinates, or if you don't see it, categories, and then coordinates, you can do the little wrench thing and change the coordinate format to decimal degrees. It is ordinarily set to degrees, decimal, minutes, or degrees, minutes, seconds. You want decimal degrees so that you get a format like this. In older Garmin models, the format uses 5 places after the decimal. In newer Garmin models, it is 6 places after the decimal. But what we do here is we can shim this all the way down to 4 places after the decimal. I will give you an example. We'll do north 42 5218, and for the final digit 0. If this was 6 places after the decimal, it would be 00. And then west 70 88340. Okay. That is the House of the Seven Gables in Massachusetts. No matter where you input this information, it will take you precisely to the House of the Seven Gables. This is why coordinates are so awesome. You do not have to mess around with pins. You do not have to mess around with synchronization apps or just synchronizing in general. You do not have to mess around with codes. None of that. All you need to know is that. Now, how short is this? So in this format, this is 15 characters. You have the N, which is north, and then 42.5218. And then you have the W, west 70.8834. 15 characters. The only time it gets longer is by 1 digit, and in the United States, only if you're on the West Coast. I'll give you an example of that. 47 62020, so north 47 6202, and then west 122 3493. So west 122.3493. And that is the Space Needle in Washington State. You punch this one into any Garmin, Nuvve, Drive, or Drive Smart or navigation app, and you will be navigated exactly to this spot. Cool. And this one is 16 characters. The N 47.6202, west 122.3493. Great. That's as short as it gets. You cannot, correction, this is the second shortest. The first one is 15 character, and the second one, this is 16 character. Those two are as short as it gets. You cannot get any shorter than this. And if you're wondering, well, couldn't I whittle this down to 3 places after the decimal instead of 4? No, because the resolution isn't quite good enough. If you did it down to 3, this would be like over here or over here. Yeah, it's not good enough for position resolution, but 4 is. Yes, it is. Now, the funny thing is about apps in general. Actually, before I get into that, okay, if you have, like, if you do what I said and you have a business card and you flip it over to the blank side and you just write down some coordinates and you keep it in your wallet, or you keep it in a clip or somewhere, or in a glove box somewhere accessible to you, then you don't need to write down long addresses. You don't need to write down anything but a name and the coordinates, and that's it. I mean, this would even be good enough, not that I would recommend this, but you could even just tape it to the back of your phone case. You wouldn't even have to store it within the device. I mean, that's nice. That's really nice that you can do that. Okay, so the last thing I'll say about this is that there have been attempts by not only Google, but other apps and such to shorten addresses, to get them as short as possible. They've never been able to get it like this. The closest we've ever seen are called plus codes from Google Maps. And they do work, sort of. This is the problem. First of all, they only work on Google Maps, which is not a problem if you're always using Google Maps. But the other problem is that you have the plus code, but you have to put some additional information next to it. Like I think name of town and state or town and country or something like that. So it's not fully integrated. It's close. It's really close. Those plus codes. Like, oh, but unfortunately, mm-mm. And another one is What 3 Words. You may have heard of that app. In theory, nice, but it only works with What 3 Words. It doesn't transfer from app to app to app. You have to use What 3 Words. See, at least with Google Maps, it's so ubiquitous that if you go from one Android phone to another, to a tablet, to an Apple device, it doesn't matter, to a PC, you can load up Google Maps in a browser or another phone with an app or whatever. You can do that, but with What 3 Words, not necessarily. You can install the app and whatever, but at least when you go from device to device to device with Google Maps, you can be pretty sure that Google Maps will be already pre-installed. Okay. But with this, you don't have to worry about any of that. You can just, a browser or any Garmin device, you plug in the coordinates, you punch it in and go. This is the ultimate as far as portability is concerned, so much to the point where you can write it down on a little card and put it in glove box, wallet, clip, purse, whatever, and it will always work because coordinates do not change. Then you do not need any specific app ever. You could even do this on a Garmin handheld device, even with a trail device like an eTrex or something like that. And you won't get turn-by-turn directions, but it will point you where to go. Yeah, or even on the phone, an app I have installed, GPS Test Plus. I can use these. I can use these in organic maps, Google Maps, GPS Test. I could even use it on an old TomTom or Magellan. Even if the map data was ancient, I can just turn the map data off and use it as a pointer and say, yeah, take me here, please. And it will point me in the right direction. So for, I think best use scenario is for emergency locations that you need to carry around with you, or maybe not necessarily emergency locations, or locations you know you will need. So if you carry a list of those, just as 15 or 16 character coordinates with just names, that's all you need. That's it, and it's great. I have a list of these, just places I know I will need, as a text file, just a plain text file. As a matter of fact, in the Memo app on my phone, I have these. I have a few of them listed. It's only like something like 5 or 6 locations. That's it. That's all I need, and it works. So no matter where I am, like for example, if I took a flight somewhere and I'm in a rental car, and let's just say I don't know, for some reason I did not have my Garmin device with me. All I have is my phone. Well, I just bring up that little list, punch in the coordinates, and it will work. Yes, thank you. You should get to know this. This is good stuff to know. The only time this doesn't work is on really old Garmin devices that do not have GPS coordinates input. Now, fortunately, every single Nuvi ever made, right all the way back to 2007, you can input coordinates manually. But right before that, the Street Pilot series, the Street Pilot C series, like C330, C340, C580, nope, does not have manual coordinate input, and neither does the Street Pilot I series, like I2, I3, I5. No. So, but that's really not a problem, because who's using that anyway these days? So if you've got something, a Nuvi, from all the way back to 2007 all the way up to present with or middle with the Nuvi 56, or all the way up to modern model with the DriveSmart 6670, 686, yeah, you can input coordinates and you're good to go. Learn coordinates. It's good info, and it's easy, and it's short. That's the biggest deal. It's short.